Good evening. Welcome to the May 18th, 2016 Planning Board meeting for the town of Smithtown. Before we proceed with this evening's agenda, I ask that you all please rise and join us in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Chair recognizes the Planning Department to read the items recommended for adjournment for this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Board. The Planning Department would like to recommend the following items for adjournment because the applicants are not ready to be heard. Under zoning petitions, number 1, 2012-04, Storybook Homes, Nesconset. Number 2, 2012-02, Carlson Associates, Kings Park. Number 3, 2015-05, Thomas Giswali, Kings Park. Number 4, 2010-06, KVC Holdings, under waiver requests. Number 5, number 773, Scholar Estates, Comac. Number 6, 1135, Tuami Platte, St. James. Number 7, 911A, Glen Hill Northern, St. James. Under final subdivision, number 8, 1156, Map of Open Meadow, Fort Salonga. And under preliminary subdivision, number 9, 1158, Norwood Hollow at Smithtown.
Is there anyone present here this evening who wishes to be heard on any of the matters recommended for adjournment? There being none, is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn items 1 through 9 as read.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The items are adjourned. For new hearings, we have an extension of final approval, Hennigan Estates, St. James.
The request is for an extension of conditional final approval for the subdivision known as number 1149, Map of Heinig Estates. The final map of number 1149, Map of Heinig Estates, was granted conditional final approval by the Planning Board on February 20th, 2013. This final plat approval was valid for a period of 180 days that expired on August 20th, 2013. The applicant submitted a request for an extension of conditional final approval to this office on January 12th, 2016. They are requesting an extension until March of 2017. Pursuant to Section 248-14 of the Town Code, upon application by the subdivider, the Planning Board may make a reasonable extension of approval, provided, however, that the plat be revised according to any changes in the regulations or ordinances applicable to the plat subsequent to the first resolution. Expiration of an approval shall mean that any further action will require a new filing fee as well as a review of all previous findings. The applicant has submitted the filing fees and the application was distributed to all concerned departments for review. The Engineering Department and Highway Department have reviewed the application and have no objection to an extension of conditional final approval. The Traffic Safety Department has no comment. The Department of Environment and Waterways requested that the applicant submit a revised tree preservation and land clearing plan. Upon site inspection, the Planning Department and Department of Environment and Waterways found that a number of trees were removed that were identified as to be preserved on the tree preservation and land clearing plan, approved by the Planning Board on February 20th, 2013. In addition to revising the tree preservation and land clearing plan, the Department of Environment and Waterways required the applicant to submit a landscape planting plan depicting 22 additional trees to be planted on the property in place of the ones that were removed. The Department of Environment and Waterways reviewed the planting plan and revised the tree preservation and land clearing plan and finds them acceptable. The Planning Department has reviewed the request and has no objection to the extension of conditional final approval. However, the Planning Department recommends modifying the approval as follows. In order to reflect changes in procedure that have occurred since the original approval or to correct a mistake in the original. The park fee, the original park fee was set at $7,200. In 2014, the Planning Board modified how it calculates the park fee, taking into consideration the level of demand for parkland and value of vacant land in the surrounding neighborhood. If being established today, the park fee would be $3,600. Therefore, the Planning Department recommends adjusting the fee accordingly. Street trees, the original approval required that street trees be planted 30 feet on center, which equates to 12 street trees for the subdivision. However, the street tree estimate should be based on planting trees 35 feet on center. In order to resolve the conflict and be consistent with other recent approvals, the performance bond estimate should be modified to reflect the need for 10 street trees 35 feet on center instead of 12 street trees 30 feet on center. This will reduce the performance bond estimate by $600. Inspection fee. The inspection fee, which is calculated at 8% of the performance bond, should be reduced to reflect the $600 reduction in the performance bond estimate. The drainage easement. The original performance bond estimate noted that a 10-foot by 50-foot drainage easement was required on Hobson Avenue. However, this easement was not a condition of final approval. In order to eliminate confusion, the Planning Department recommends incorporating this requirement as a condition of final approval. Condition F. Condition F of the original approval requires the applicant to submit an individual site plan showing existing and proposed grading and drainage prior to obtaining a building permit. This is also a requirement of the building permit application process and therefore does not need to be included as a condition of final map approval. Condition G. Condition G of the original approval requires that the subdivider submit an as-built survey at such time as he completed the foundation and rough grading for a particular lot. This is also a requirement of the building permit application process and therefore does not need to be included as a condition of final map approval. This department recommends that the extension be approved with new conditions that supersede the ones approved on February 20th, 2013. This approval should be valid for the standard 180 days after the date of the new resolution and 62 days after the chairman of the planning board signs the final map of this plat, unless said plat shall have been duly filed or recorded by the owner in the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. The Planning Department offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the final map of number 1149 Heining Estates is granted an extension of conditional final approval subject to the following conditions that supersede the original conditions of approval adopted on February 20, 2013. A, posting of a performance bond in form and amount specified by a separate resolution of the planning board and for a term of 2 years. B, posting of a general liability insurance policy to run concurrently with the term of the performance bond and in accordance with other provisions of Section 248 of the Code of the Town of Smithtown Subdivision Regulations. C, payment of the inspection fee and cash deposit as established by a separate resolution of the planning board. D, payment of a park fee of $3,600. E, final approval of the drainage and regrading plans to the satisfaction of the town engineer. F, a valid certificate of occupancy shall be provided for the existing residents and accessory structures on the property. G, the final plat shall include all information required by Section 248-15, 248-16 of the town subdivision regulations. The conditions of approval, the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. A check print of the final plat shall be submitted to the Planning Department for review before the Mylars are prepared. H, a total of 10 street trees shall be planted approximately 35 feet on center. These trees shall be 3 to 3.5 inch in caliper, northern red oak, American sweet gum, sassafras, tulip tree, white oak, or approved equals. Existing healthy trees may be substituted if they are protected from construction damage and are acceptable to the planning department. I, all necessary dedication papers shall be submitted to the developer, to the planning department in complete, accurate form as one package, including but not limited to the performance bond, liability insurance policy, title report, and all required fees, at least 90 days prior to the expiration date of the conditional approval. Incomplete submissions will not be accepted. If the applicant is unable to comply with the above requirement prior to the 90-day deadline, an extension of the planning board's approval is necessary. J, the proposal shall substantially comply with the approved tree preservation and land clearing plan prepared by Michael James Hillebrand, licensed land surveyor, dated May 9, 2016. Modifications of this plan shall be subject to the review by the Department of Environment and Waterways. K, the proposal shall comply substantially with the approved proposed landscape plan prepared by Robert J. Gruber, registered architect, and dated May 9, 2016. Modifications of this plan shall be subject to review by the Department of Environment and Waterways. L, the final map shall include a 10-foot by 50-foot drainage easement along Hobson Avenue as depicted on the tree preservation and land clearing plan dated May 9, 2016. M, prior to the commencement of construction activities at the subject parcel, including land clearing or other site preparation work, the applicant shall abide by the following conditions. A, all limits of clearing and any individual trees to be preserved within clearing areas must be marked with snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing. Said fencing shall be located no closer to the trunk of any tree to be preserved than the drip line of the said tree. This area to be preserved shall be indicated in the tree preservation and land clearing plan prepared by Michael James Hillebrand, licensed land surveyor, dated May 9, 2016. B, upon completion of installation of fencing required above, the applicant shall provide written notice to the Department of Environment and Waterways requesting inspections of the limits of clearing as marked in the field by cited fencing. C, the applicant shall not commence construction activities, including land clearing or other site preparation work, until the marked limits of clearing are approved in writing by the Environmental Protection Director. And D, the snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing used to delineate the limits of clearing shall be maintained in place by the applicant until completion of all land clearing and grading activities at the subject parcel. And be it resolved that the chairman of the planning board is hereby authorized to sign the final plat, thereby approving said plat after the town board has posted a performance bond of satisfactory form and amount. And be it further resolved that the conditional final approval of said plat shall expire 180 days after the date of this resolution and within 62 days after the chairman of the planning board signs the final maps of this plat, unless said plat shall have been duly filed or recorded by the owner and the Suffolk County clerk. Be it resolved that the chairman of the planning board be authorized to sign the revised performance bond estimate for number 1149 map of Heineck Estates in the amount of $12,595 and establishing an inspection fee of $1,008 and a cash deposit of $1,000. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $11,595.
Okay. Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record, your relationship to the applicant.
Louis Castellano, 2693 Middle Country Road, Lake Grove, New York. I'm the expediter for Mr. Heinrich. Good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight. We are here for the final approval, as you know, for map of Heineck Estates, which was previously granted on February 20, 2013. We'd like to thank the planning board staff for all their help in getting us to this point. They did a great job. We've heard the recommendations by Matt, and we have no problem with them. We're ready to move forward. Thank you.
Is there anyone present this evening, or does any member of the board have any questions? There being no questions, any member of the public wish to be heard on this matter? There is none. Do I have a motion on these resolutions?
In the matter of the final plat of map of Heineck Estates, number 1149, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Have a great evening.
And on
You
the
too.
You need
performance
to do the
bond?
bond.
Yes.
In the matter of the revised performance bond estimate for 1149 map of Heineck Estates, I move that we adopt the resolution in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The performance bond is adopted.
Thank you. Have a nice evening, everybody.
Good
Thank you.
evening. Okay, next item on the agenda is an extension of preliminary approval for Richwood Estates.
The applicant is requesting a 90-day extension of conditional preliminary approval for the subdivision known as number 1057.1 Richwood Estates. The preliminary map of number 1057.1 Richwood Estates was granted conditional preliminary approval by the planning board on November 18, 2015. This preliminary plat approval is valid for a period of 180 days that expires on May 18, 2016. On May 2, 2016, the applicant submitted a request for a 90-day extension due to the fact that the applicant has not yet obtained a road opening permit from the town of Islip, and the applicant has preliminarily accepted an offer from the Suffolk County to purchase the subject property for open space. The extension will provide the applicant the time to negotiate and execute a contract with the county. The planning department has reviewed the request and has no objection to the 90-day extension to the conditional preliminary approval. The planning department offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the planning board hereby grants a 90-day extension of time to the conditional preliminary approval for the subdivision known as number 1057.1 Richwood Estates from May 18, 2016 through August 18, 2016.
Good evening.
Good evening. J. Timothy Shea Jr., Sir Tillman Ballin, 100 Motor Parkway, Hauppauge, New York, for the applicant. Mr. Shays, members of the board. Excuse me. Promptly after receiving preliminary approval in November of last year, we notified the County of Suffolk of that preliminary map grant and began negotiations on sale of the property for open space to the county. The county took some time to obtain the necessary 2 appraisals that they require due to the fact that they are inundated with appraisals as a result of Sandy on Fire Island. Those appraisals came in. On April 1st, we received a letter making an offer on the property. We assessed the offer, and on May 2nd, we accepted the offer contingent upon entering into contractual terms to sell the property as open space. We were advised at the time that it would take about 30 days to get a contract out, which would put us probably the first week of June. We fully anticipate that a contract will be entered into before the August 18th date, but we do need to keep the map alive pending the contractual resolution. If the board has any questions with regard to this, I'll be happy to ask them, and I'd hope that they'd grant the application based upon the prospective sale of the property to the county.
Okay. Any members of the board have any questions? Any members of the public wish to be heard on this? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Edward Sanders. I live at 370 Ridgefield Road in Hauppauge, New York. Obviously, there's a group of us here tonight, much more than there have been in the past, because we've been fighting this project and trying to get it shut down, and we're very happy to hear that we are moving in the direction we are. One thing that we would like to try to, rather than waste the town's time and everyone else's time too, once this sale goes through, we are concerned now because now there's another commercial, and as you guys know, I'm a developer, and I walked away from this deal originally because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. Now there's another developer who has commercial signs up on the parcel next to this parcel, and he's trying to promote it as commercial property. We don't want to have to keep going through this time after time after time. Is there any way we can, that this is going to finally set a precedent? Because the original parcel that was down on the corner behind the bank, which is also Smithtown town property, the other property that belonged to the Kalakis family that got sold to Suffolk County, this property is now going to be in Suffolk County also. Is there a way that we can cut this off, because there's still 3 remaining other large-sized parcels in there? Otherwise, we're going to be seeing each other for a lot of times for the next 4 or 5 years.
This is the parcel you're referring to is directly adjacent?
Yeah, and right now, if you
Not the
drive...
parcel that's the subject of this application tonight?
Right, it's the one next to it. Right now, you can
Nothing-
see there's a
nothing
big
we should even
commercial
discuss
sign
it.
on it. They're trying to promote that for sale also, and it's going to be a waste of everybody's time because if the precedent's been set on 4 of these 7 parcels already now, rather than having to keep beating this dead horse and coming to the same, at the end each
It's
time.
my understanding that there are discussions for the other parcels in the area, and one of them, or perhaps both of them, are adjacent, but I don't know if you have any information you could further elaborate on?
All of the remaining vacant land is zoned residence.
Correct.
Generally, local governments have no authority under the Constitution to tell people what they can or cannot say on a sign. There are exceptions to the rule, but that's a rule of thumb. The content is protected speech. So they may, on the sign, say it's commercial. Doesn't mean that it really is.
Right. Right.
As I understand, the county has made an offer for the 2 contiguous pieces to this one, fronting on the bypass. I'm not sure where that's at.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Anyone else wish to be heard on this? There being none, is there a motion?
In the matter of 1057.1, Richwood Estates, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The item is adopted.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank
You
you,
too.
you too.
And under, I think we have one more item.
Yep.
We have a corrected performance bond estimate regarding the Novotny property. You have information to read into the record?
Yes. The final subdivision of map of Novotny property, number 1166, was adopted at the May 4th, 2016 Planning Board meeting. On that date, the Planning Board adopted resolutions regarding SECRA and approving the final map, variances, and performance bond estimate. However, the resolution adopting the bond estimate of $13,035 and an inspection fee of $1,043 was incorrect. The correct bond estimate is $15,035, and the correct inspection fee is $1,203. The incorrect bond estimate and fee were the result of a scrivener's error. In order to correct this error, the planning department recommends that the board rescind the performance bond resolution adopted on May 4th, 2016, and adopt the appropriate performance bond resolution presented below. Be it resolved that the planning board of the town of Smithtown hereby rescinds the following resolution that was adopted by the board on May 4th, 2016. Be it resolved that the chairman of the planning board be authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for the map of Novotny property number 1166 in the amount of $13,035 and establish an inspection fee of $1,043 and a cash deposit of $1,000. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $12,035. Be it resolved that the chairman of the planning board be authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for the map of Novotny property, number 1166, in the amount of $15,035 and establishing an inspection fee of $1,203 and a cash deposit of $1,000. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $14,035.
Okay. I understand the applicant is not present this evening, but you've had conversations with the council.
That's correct. He said, please take care of it.
Okay. Any questions from the board members to staff?
Self-explanatory, no?
Do
Just
we-
a simple correction.
Okay. Motion?
In the matter of map of Novotny property, number 1166, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And on the performance bond, in the matter of map of Novotny property, number 1166, motion to adopt the performance bond estimate in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Measure is adopted. We have one item on the agenda remaining, and that is the adoption of the April 6th, 2016 minutes.
I move that we adopt the minutes of the April 6, 2016 meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are adopted. Is there any other further business to be brought before the board? There being none, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.